The fifth pattern of organization is called the classification pattern. This pattern appears quite frequently in business and science textbooks. It's used when you have a large group and it needs to be divided into smaller subgroups. It's usually used to try to inform the reader rather than to try to persuade them. Some of the key characteristics of the classification pattern is that the topic sentence describes how one big group can be broken down into smaller subgroups. The topic sentence in this pattern will be likely to include words like categories and subgroups, so watch out for those key phrases. Topic sentences are also likely to use verbs like broken down into, analyze, classified, divided. And words like categories, groups, and divisions will also be a common occurrence in this pattern. Let's take a look at this particular paragraph. And what I'd like you to do is on the back of your note-taking packet, number from 1 to 17. I want you to create a key, and I want you to be able to color code the function of each sentence. And these sentences should refer to a topic sentence, a major detail, and a minor detail. So you need 3 different colors. So go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so 3 colors, numbers 1 through 17, and after each number you'll simply put a dash of the color that you think it fits into. So in a way you're classifying each of the sentences in this paragraph. Here we go. Bloggers can generally be divided into 6 different groups. The collaborative blog, for instance, has several different authors and usually a common topic or theme that ties their contributions together. An example of a collaborative blog would be Mashable.com, which focuses on technology and social media issues, all of which are addressed by different contributors. How-to blogs are more likely to be run by one person. They take a good deal of time and effort to maintain because they offer step-by-step tutorials and require real expertise in the procedures that are being explained. Blogwell.com, for example, tries to teach people how to use common programming languages such as XML and HTML. As their name implies, travel blogs describe great places to visit. The better travel blogs include wonderful pictures along with tips on how to travel to specific locations. Gadling.com would be a good example of this type. Personal blogs express the perspective of a single person on any range of topics, with topics and themes varying widely and often. Krautblog.com would be an excellent example of this category. Food blogs can sometimes fall under the how-to category, but not necessarily, because a food blog doesn't always tell you how to cook a specific dish, but rather where you can buy or eat wonderful food. Sometimes all you will get is the recipe, but no tips on how to go about turning that recipe into your dinner. On foodematters.com, though, you can get all of the previous and more. Political and cultural blogs talk about current events, current issues, and offer the blogger's perspective on those issues. dailycosts.com is an example of a political blog that has become widely known and influential among liberal voters. So, as we went through, were you able to keep up? Were you able to color code each sentence as to the type of sentence that it was? Compare your responses to this. In this example, we have the first sentence as being the topic sentence. We know that we're going to be looking for 6 different groups, 6 different types of blogs. And really, the editor for this one made it quite easy because each type is in boldface print. So the main supporting details, the major details, are in blue. And each one of these has at least a brief explanation, if not an extensive explanation, in the form of minor details. When you're starting to take notes on the classification pattern, don't be turned off if the pattern is extremely long. Usually the organization is one that you can predict, so you can pull out the information fairly easily, even in an extended reading. And of course, if there's a topic sentence that identifies the number or type of categories being discussed, be sure to paraphrase that as the heading in your notes, and then put that paraphrase up on top. Don't forget the number of categories that are mentioned. That's a really important detail, because if you only get 4 of the essential types of blogs, you've really missed a good chunk of what that paragraph was all about. Include the names of the categories if they're given, and be aware that the categories aren't always necessarily defined by name, which makes it even more challenging to take notes on. So here in this particular example, we have a classification shown. I'd like you to also turn to page 207 in your book, and you'll find that there are some verb phrases that often appear in this type of pattern. And then on page 208, there's a different type of chart that you can develop to take notes as well. Again, you're not taking longhand notes, but by using a note-taking strategy that causes you to change the format in which the information is displayed, you're really helping yourself out, because that will help to commit this information to your memory. After you finish doing your sample note-taking activity, and for this one you're going to be looking at the topic of either schooling or rock music, you'll create a chart on the bottom of that particular note-taking page, and then move on to exercise 5 in the chapter as well.